Hello, everyone. Hello to our friends out on the porch and to our friends online. Hello. I love getting a microphone. It's so much fun. People listen. So many friends online. So many familiar faces here tonight. It's so nice. People are making their way in. For those of you not here, it's a very warm night, but there's a nice breeze in the boathouse. You can imagine it. Hello, everyone. All right. So as people continue to filter in the Zoom call, I'll just go over our ground rules. Not really, just some housekeeping. We will turn it over to Luke and Walt. And then at the end of this, we can do questions from anyone in the audience and anyone on Zoom. If you are on Zoom and you have a question, just put it in the chat and I will ask it. And if you're in the audience, we will pass around a microphone so that the people on Zoom can hear your question. But yeah, otherwise, thank you all for being here tonight. It's a nice warm night. But there is a little breeze and I heard it might rain. Looking forward to that. So I will pass it on to Luke and Walt.
Thank you, Lindsay. Thank you all for joining me for the town hall. June is here and the weather is, perspiring. Very excited to have you all down here at the boathouse and online. Thought I'd jump in with some notes from the various departments, talk about what's going on and some of the things from the summer. Spiritual life is very excited. We kicked off our Sunday services on May 10th. We're expecting those to go through mid-October. This will include a variety of guest speakers along with reflections from Chris and Melissa. This summer we have 14 weekly programs and events, including things like morning gatherings, evening program, and create opportunities around campus for reflection and renewal. We're pleased to bring back book talks out of the Spiritual Life tent Tuesday and Thursday mornings. Additional offerings include mindfulness meditation, labyrinth walks, inspiration hikes, and mandala art, providing a variety of ways for guests to explore wellness. Chris made me read these because he wanted to make sure that I hit every point because he's doing a lot. Evening Vespers will be Monday through Saturday in the chapel and the boathouse on occasion, starting on June 22nd. Hymn Sing will return on Sunday evenings. Beginning on June 21st, we're excited to welcome back the Silver Bay Community Choir under the direction of Jairus French. Choir is open to guests, staff, members, and the community who enjoy singing and fellowship. Moving on to some more Silver Bay-esque programming, we are excited to have fireworks going on July 5th. It'll be around 9 o'clock. Thank you to Franco Landscaping for your sponsorship. We are working on our summer musical, so we're currently in contracting with a licensing company. The goal is to bring about a junior version so that it'll be appropriate for all ages for not only attendance but also participation. The dates for this is July 30th and 31st. We are also exploring the opportunities of trying to get a showing on the second family week because we'd love to be able to reach out to more families. Evening and dance performances will be August 14th and 15th. Ticket sales will open soon. There will be VIP tickets, as in the last couple of years, where there will be a cocktail hour, preferred seating, and on the Friday night performance, there will also be a VIP reception with the performers. Mountain Music Fest will be returning on September 11th through 13th. We're very excited to see this successful event come back. The tickets are available on UltraCamp. You can check out our full list of who will be attending on our website. and we are just excited for some good jam sessions. Some new things from programs this year. The grand opening of the slingshot course will be June 24th. So what's a slingshot course? Well, it's kind of like a disc golf course. You'll have targets, you take shots, you move closer, and you take more shots. It's about a 20-minute session to get through it all. We're very excited about it. We've been working with the appropriate parties to make sure that the staff will be well trained and can facilitate a safe environment. A little bit of housekeeping, as Lindsay said. So we have received some updated guidelines from the YMCA regarding youth safety. As always, our team remains committed to creating a safe environment for kids to learn and grow. One of the updated guidelines is that children need to be accompanied by an adult while they're on the grounds. We are currently working closely with the YMCA to determine the most effective way to implement this guideline while being mindful of the impact that this has to families. We appreciate your patience and understanding, and there will be further materials to come out about this. We are going to try and do the best we can to communicate with all of you so that you can have a wonderful summer, but we are doing what we need to do to make sure that we are prioritizing child safety. Moving on to food service, Bites of the Bay is back 7 days a week. You are able to order off of the pizza and sandwiches menu. And if you place an order online, it will be delivered right down to the dock, so you don't even have to get off the boat. But if you're on site or driving in, you're able to just walk into the store and order that same menu. We're very excited about the food coming out of there. They're having a lot of fun, and honestly, it's one of the best pizzas I've had. Mountain View Grill is open again Wednesday through Saturday. Stay tuned, as there will be some specialty days and menu drops that are coming up with the summer. We had such a positive review of the specialty menus we offered over the winter and spring season that we're trying to implement some of that feedback so that people are able to continue enjoying it throughout the summer. Or some of you that haven't got to experience it get to try it for the first time. You can make reservations online. Fisher Lounge is getting a little bit of a facelift. We are working on trying to set up a counter and or bar area so that people are able to sit and watch some of the sporting events that are going on, including the World Cup or other sports activities while enjoying an adult beverage or water. We've received a lot of really positive feedback to this particular area, and we are hoping to have it open soon. Cottages have been shifted to allow for online reservations. You guys have told us time and time again that we need to look at a reservation system, and our in-person reservationists do a fantastic job, but with all of the inquiries they get, we needed to make this step forward. We now allow you to go on, take a look at the availability, and place your booking directly. No hassle, no worry about a callback, no cross lines or telephone tag. We're pretty excited about it, and we do have a few cottages available, so if anyone's thinking about a last-minute getaway, please check us out. We do have some really cool things going on the property. So anyone that walked in, you probably saw the tent. This weekend's going to be our first tented event of the season. We've got a wedding going off on Saturday, which just sort of kicks us off because we then have another tented event on the following weekend. We're excited. The grounds are looking good. People are thrilled to be coming in and really getting the summer rolling. Other things we have developing is the Fisher Gymnasium renovations. Anyone that's poked in knows those are well underway. The West Gym, they are working on trimming out the windows. I'm pretty excited. I think they did a really good job matching the aesthetic to make sure that it's staying historically accurate, but also refreshing it and making it so that things such as the electrical conduit and other parts of it are cleaned up. It's a good look. We're expecting that to wrap up by the end of July. A reminder to anyone, this first phase is only insulation and a new roof. The actual heating and cooling for the HVAC system does not come until phase 2. So while the insulation is making a huge impact already, where it's not getting so hot, and frankly we think it will be a little bit easier on people that are here over the winter, phase 2 is when the actual heating systems come in. Other projects include Slim Point. If you haven't made it down there, I encourage you. It's really cool seeing the DeFranco team at work. We are renovating the pavilion where we cut out the cracked concrete and the old bleachers that were in disrepair. We've replaced that flooring with some granite pavers, as well as there's going to be an ADA accessible ramp that goes down from the gate all the way down to the point. It'll also include us increasing adding a little bit of fill that will allow it so that it doesn't turn into a duck pond every time it rains. We're really excited for this. I'm expecting to see sod going down in about 2 weeks, allowing the roots to take and the area to firm up properly before we start having events down there the first weekend of July. So really, truly kind of cool to see it coming together. If you want, pull me aside, I'll show you some photos of it as it's going. I've been loving it. Something that hasn't started yet, but we're excited to have it back on the calendar. We have hired a contractor for the boat ramp to get down to the lower boathouse. They should be starting with us towards the end of July to get that going. They are feeling really good about the project and are excited to be coming up and working. It'll be their first project like this at Silver Bay, but they do things typically down in the Lake George and Bolton Landing areas. So speaking of capital projects, I asked Walt to come up here and to talk about a capital project that we need to be focusing on and something that we are really excited about. Walt?
Okay, thank you, Luke. So we've been working with a consultant for about 3 years now to assess all the buildings on the property and see which ones should be the next high priority that we invest in. And all of their recommendations pointed us toward Bayview. Now, you know Bayview up on the hill. You've seen it there since the mid-1970s. That's when it was built. And it really hasn't been improved that much or brought up to date since then. So this project would really refresh the building, both from a business perspective, so it can be put back online and become a better performing asset for us, and also from a guest perspective, to make it a really pleasant space for guests, because we've had numerous guests let us know that it needs a refresh. It's got some issues with dampness and with plumbing issues. The bathrooms are laid out kind of strangely. The building freezes in the winter if we try to operate it in the winter, because the plumbing is on the exterior walls, and some of the plumbing is actually outside of the building. So they made a strong recommendation to us that we invest in that building next, because we can turn that around, refresh it, put it back into service, and have it really perform for our business bottom line. So what the project would entail is leaving the building envelope the way it stands, but really leaning into the position that the building has on campus. It's got a very strong presence in the south part of the campus. It overlooks the south field. It has a great view of Lake George, of course. So lean into those views, lean into the outdoor spaces. On the first floor, there would be an exterior patio with some nice gathering areas, campfire spots, Adirondack chairs, places to sit and read and just enjoy that beautiful view. And then the building itself, the front-facing side, the lake-facing side, those rooms on the second and third floor would have balconies that open up onto the lake, so that there's a little extra space in the room, and also big open windows and doors that step out onto the balcony, so you can really lean into and enjoy that outdoor space. Have your cup of coffee, in the morning, enjoy views of the lake, or have your glass of wine in the evening and enjoy the lake breeze coming in off the lake. The first floor would have 3 handicap accessible suites, so that would be fully handicap accessible from the parking lot. And then also in each individual room, they would have a little outdoor sitting area that would be handicap accessible. The interior space, the lounge there would be handicap accessible, and that would be the sort of main lobby for the building. I have images of these up here, but it's kind of hard for me to show them to you from this perspective. So Lindsay can point you to them online, because we have a web page for them now, so you can see these images on our web page, and also you can take a look at these images here when we're finished with the meeting. The project is about a $3.5 million reconstruction, and then we build in, here at Silver Bay, we build in a maintenance fund to support the building moving forward, and also we have built in some contingencies. So the capital campaign here is about a $5 million capital campaign. Luke and I have had several conversations with donors and prospective donors, and so far to date, we've been able to commit about $1.3 million to this project. We'll be speaking with other donors throughout the course of the summer, and you'll be hearing a lot about this now as the campaign has sort of become announced and it's more public, and it's we're going to be seeing a lot about it around campus. There'll be materials handed out, there'll be mailers, social media, et cetera, et cetera. So you'll really see a great deal of publicity about this, and hopefully there'll be a lot of buzz about it around campus. We've spoken with our board, they're very much behind it. They're going to be reaching out to all of you as ambassadors. We ask that you who are interested in Silver Bay and its future also act as ambassadors for this project and help us spread the word about it. So we're really excited about this. We think it'll be a huge improvement to the campus, certainly a huge improvement to the guest experience here for those who stay in Bayview. We expect to be seeing a lot of folks, wedding guests staying there, small conferences, and family reunions. People really enjoy that space for family reunions because they can use the gathering areas, both interior and exterior now. So we're excited about this, and I will, after the meeting's over, I can certainly speak about it, or you can take a look at the images, or we can take questions at some point. And at this point, I've been asked to introduce our board chair, Elise, if you would mind coming up.
Great to be here, even this one such a warm day, and it's nice to see so many familiar faces here and share the love and connection to Silver Bay. As some of you likely suspect, I'm here to make an announcement from the board. At a 5:45 special executive session of the board affirmatively accepted Lucas's acceptance letter, thus appointing him CEO of Silver Bay. Speaks for itself. And actually, if you can bear with us, I'd like to ask Melissa Adams, who with Matt Cousy chaired the transition or search committee, and just for to explain a little bit about the process we went through and how we arrived at this decision. Would appreciate your attention. So Melissa, are you there? Technology is, yeah. Meanwhile, I can say that Matt Cousy was co-chair of the committee, myself as CEO, Jeremy Fisher as chairman. We're also on the committee. We were Dave Ingray, Fred Becker, who's also here, Wayne Cramp, Lee Farmer, and Malcolm Lee were also on the committee. So we were supported by a Y process, which we had over 200 candidates. We narrowed it down to 65, and then 20 that we looked at seriously, and then actually had a cluster that we looked at more seriously, and had, as you might expect, interviews with in depth, as Melissa doing. So it was a very thorough process. It was not a shoo-in, and I think that I can speak for the committee in saying that there are a lot of qualities about Luke that make him the right person for this time, including familiarity with the North Country, one of my personal favorites, his hospitality experience, his operational and fiscal financial acumen, which one of the things, some of you responded to the CABO survey that we sent out to the community to say, what do you think Silver Bay needs? And one thing that came back very strongly across all of the different stakeholders that replied was financial sustainability, that this place will be able to survive in perpetuity, and that someone can get a handle on running it so that it's not in some sort of state of lunging from deficit to deficit. So I think he understands that, and we're all working hard towards that end.
Aaron? Okay, Melissa, let's see. We're going to test this out.
Before I turn it over, I do have to say there's a lot more I could say, but one thing that stands out to me about Luke that I think is a really good predictor of success and is his willingness to listen and to learn. And those are two things that I think make a real difference in a leader's ability to grow with the community and lead a community. And he has to lead in the community and the staff now for his interim for 6 months, at least, maybe 8. So I think it's great for all of us. And now, Luke.
Thank you. 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 Thank you.
Drum roll, please.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There she is.
I have been unmuted for a while, but for some reason, I guess people online can hear, but not in the room. So anyway, I think Elise hit a lot of the high points in our search. Basically, we formed a committee about 6 months ago to really search for the best candidate for Silver Bay today and for tomorrow. And as Elise mentioned, that resulted in a very robust response. We started by surveying the many passionate constituencies of Silver Bay to help us shape the executive vacancy announcement. And we worked with our partners nationally at the Y and the New York State Y Alliance. We got a lot of really interesting candidates, as Elise mentioned, and that included private sector, public sector. We got elected officials, we got nonprofit leaders, and of course we had many Y leaders as well. We ultimately, winnowed this down to about 22 very highly qualified candidates who matched our criteria. The committee, which included 8 of us, then interviewed 8 candidates online, and then at the end of the day, we decided to bring the finalists to campus, and they were all here last week doing community tours, meeting people, meeting the board, presenting to us, et cetera, and a very impressive pool. So I think at the end of the day, the fact that we ultimately selected Luke is a real testament to Luke. It wasn't like, oh, this guy can, kind of do the job. He's been doing it for a couple of months. No, we compared him to some of the best and most experienced candidates out there, which ultimately included highly experienced Y leaders, executives from across the country. And the other thing I'll say is that the search, it was not just like posted on the Y site. There was a lot of engagement around, I guess the process is called passive recruitment. So the Y and others reached out to folks who did not apply, on the website. And because they were known to be great leaders, impressive people, so we really did try to, and I think we succeeded in attracting top-notch talent, and we learned that we have our own best homegrown top-notch talent.
Applause for applause.
That's kind of a long-winded summary that probably reiterated a lot of what Elise said while I was on mute.
Well, thank you. Thank you for your
Thank you for your patience, Melissa. The Boathouse is a new location, as many of you can tell. We're trying to switch it up each town hall to a new location at Silver Bay to give the people who aren't here an ability to see a place they maybe haven't seen, and then to give all of you guys different locations to be in. So with that comes different tech issues, and we are learning as we go. But thank you for your patience and for your summary, Melissa.
So I just want to chime in and first say thank you so much to, I am truly honored and grateful for this opportunity to be CEO at Silver Bay YMCA. Thank you to the board for your trust and confidence. Thank you to the staff and to the community for supporting me throughout my interim period. As Elise said, I have been listening and learning, and I will continue to do so. There's a lot of different facets that make Silver Bay important to different parties, and I want to do my best to honor them all. Silver Bay's got a bright future ahead. We've got some really cool things on the horizon, and I am jazzed to be Senate in the role. Thank you for the opportunity. I think at this point we will segue to questions about town hall, whether it's about one of the topics I mentioned, whether it's more information on the capital campaign, or if you want to ask Elise or myself around the CEO search.
While the folks in the room are thinking, I do have a couple already online. As well as many congratulations. We're super excited. The future is going to be great, so congratulations again. We did have one question regarding the child safety. What ages are considered children? Do we have to follow the Y guidelines on this? Silver Bay is just about the only place in the world where kids can explore the campus independently and safely. It's such a huge draw for many families with school-age kids.
So it's a good question. Children are defined in this particular guidance as 12 and under. It's part of the reason that we're trying so closely to work with the YMCA to find the right way that we can work forward. As we know, that is a really big impact on just our families that come to enjoy Silver Bay. We do have to follow Y guidelines while we continue to be a YMCA, but we do want to make sure that we're finding the right way to navigate this. So again, I appreciate your patience while we do try to get there. There should be some materials that come out as we solidify those pieces of it, and we'll do our best to make sure that we're supporting the families as they come to the property.
All right, one more so far online, and then we'll absolutely take audience questions. Regarding the work at Slim Point, will much of the grassy area near the southern side of the beach still be there, or will some of it be replaced by the walkway?
So the walkway is going to sort of wind down the middle of what was the grass. There is still going to be space on the tree side, on the south end, because we recognize that there's a lot of parties that like it for the shade when they're down there. And there will also be some grass on the north side of the path, because some people want to be in the sun but not in the sand. We think that the path that's only 6 feet wide should not have a negative impact on anybody's experience while they're down there, but it'll also open it up for more parties to be able to get down there.
Wonderful. I see some folks with their hands raised on the Zoom. If you have a question, just put it in the chat and we will get it read for you. But while people are doing that, does anyone in the room have a question? We'll bring the microphone around. It's so much fun. Okay, one second.
This is for the folks online, so they can hear. Yep.
Hi, I'm Jill Baker, and as you're talking about the path out at Slum Point, I'm wondering about, as you get to Slum Point, there is so much poison ivy with a caution sign, but it's just taking over everything. And is there anything that can be done about that besides telling people to be cautious?
So good question, Jill. Poison ivy is obviously not ideal for anybody, especially as somebody that I could show you. I've still got a little bit on me from when I was doing a little shoreline cleanup here with the staff work day. We want to do our best to try and position ourselves so that kids aren't around that stuff. We do have to be cognizant of what we're doing when we're right on the shoreline, but it is on our tree remove where we can list.
Do you have another question? Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Does anyone else have a question in the room? Oh, it's fun, I know.
The center room in the gym, is that going to be a really good place to watch athletic events and to relax? I mean,
Yeah.
will it be like a big screen TV or something like that?
Yes, so Paul is asking about the center room in the gym, which we are calling Fisher Lounge. It's going to be an excellent place to sit and relax because there will be 3 screens to be able to allow coverage from the World Cup and other games that are going on simultaneously. And we're really trying to push a little more of the gathering and social nature down there. We're feeling pretty excited about it. We've already had some parties reach out that are chomping at the bit to get it going. One of the cool pieces for it, as we were designing the countertop and bar, was we were able to use and reclaim some of the other siding panels that they had taken down with the renovation. So it's all matching and original for the aesthetic. We're pretty excited about it.
Anyone else? Oh,
Are there going to be other screens with the World Cup and stuff on? You know, people might want to go to the store too or something like that, but I night, or is that going to be the only place on campus?
So it's going to be the main place that we're trying to do so much coverage, but that said, I'm sure that we will end up with other areas popping up with screens because that might not be the particular place that people want to watch. And you're right, the store isn't a bad idea for us to explore. I know in the past we've put things up on the projector and go in, you know, we still haven't solidified those other spaces, but there should be some options up there.
All right, keep thinking of questions. In the meantime, we had a couple come through online. Just love these, I get all my steps in. So an individual asked, regarding the work at Slim Point, oh no, I already asked that one, sorry. With Bayview being the priority restoration project, will Hepburn Hall, Forest Lodge, going to will it survive until Bayview is finished? Silver Bay is probably losing potential revenue by not having all those rooms in service.
So Hepburn was part of that study that Walt mentioned, and it's going to need a lot more love, so to speak, than Bayview will to be able to get it up to a proper serviceable place. We are also aware that it is just sort of hanging out there, and we're going to look and see what we can do to try and make sure that it's able to maintain its legs until we are able to prioritize it.
Perfect. Another individual asked, can you tell us about some of the conferences coming to Silver Bay this summer?
Sure. Lindsay?
Well, hello. Luke loves a question he can give back. Yeah, so we're really excited to have a busy summer. We're excited to welcome back what I guess I would call the big three. So we have Living Hope joining us again this year after a brief hiatus. The Lutherans will be back, of course, and the Quakers will be back this summer. Yes, I'm very excited about that. They are already exceeding numbers and will be well over 300 coming in. It's going to be a little weird. They're coming before the Quakers this year, but they're very excited to be here. We're very excited to have them back. And then on top of that, we have a ton of family reunions coming, new and repeat, which is very exciting. So a lot of new people experiencing Silver Bay over the last few years. And then on top of that, we actually have some weddings this summer, and definitely this fall will be jam-packed with weddings. And of course, the Bluegrass Camp will be here to end out the summer season, playing music all across campus. So it'll be a very busy summer season leading into a very busy fall season that really won't end until Thanksgiving.
So yeah, well, let's excited.
Love it.
We are very excited. The sales team is keeping the rest of the crew on their toes. When we are looking ahead, it seems like they're filling in the calendar in a really exciting and impressive way.
All right, does anyone else? Yes, of course, I'll bring it.
Just interested in the staffing situation for the summer, whether, how full we are, how are we coming with staffing in this place?
So good question. Staffing is looking pretty good. We have almost all of our staff hired for the summer. We did have a delay from some of our international workers, which we're still waiting to see ironed out. But from everything we've had indicated, they're just on a delay, not any concern that they'll get here. It should be a very busy summer, and we have the staff to meet that.
Any other? Oh.
Can you comment on the teen center and the early learning center?
Sure. So good question. Or I guess the question would be, why didn't I bring it up? Teen Center and Early Learning Center are critical to some of our youth development programs. Things have been going really well there. We're excited to see enrollment doing better than it has been at the Early Learning Center. The Teen Center is closed at this point for the summer, but we had a lot of positive feedback on the programming that was going on this last spring, and we're excited to have Brian stepping into the role, being able to enhance that programming. The Early Learning Center has been awesome for reaching out to the community, letting them know what we're doing, bringing new people to the table to get to know Silver Bay, and honestly, just a great conversation starter.
Excuse me. Well, I didn't hear this, you may have said, But the Bayview rehab involves an important quality, which is air conditioning and heating. So I wanted to be sure that people understood that, and that's,
As we're sitting here sweating.
yeah, exactly. So that's one of the most important improvements, I think. And as I'm sure Lucas can say, you know, that's in a sweltering summer, a very important thing to know about.
Very good point, thank you.
Yeah, as Jane touched on, and you know, when Walt was talking about the presentation, so much of what we're trying to do with this is just to add some modern amenities that people expect when they travel now. You know, this building is still meant to be approachable pricing. It's still meant to be a place for gathering and, you know, relationship building, but it definitely needs a little bit of love. The furniture that's in the lounge looks like the furniture that was in my college dorm, and it wasn't new then. You know, I'm pretty excited about the project because it's a different kind of opportunity for Silver Bay. A lot of people have connections to other buildings, whether, as the question came up, Heparin or the Inn or some particular cottage. There's less, but still some considerable families that are connected with Bayview. And I see that as an opportunity for growth, for us to grow the community and to have more people fall in love with Silver Bay.
What's the building length of this going to help? Is it 12 months, longer?
So it's a tough lead time for the construction. What we are hoping to do is make some significant strides this summer and be able to book the contractor for 14 months out from that. That allows us the appropriate lead time for my sales team, because as you heard, Lindsay's busy selling, to make sure that we're leaving the space vacant for the renovation. We are looking at a renovation that would start in October of 2027 and finish in June of 2028. So it would be able to be reopened for the summer, not having a negative impact on any of the guests, and ultimately be an incredibly refreshed space.
I don't need a mic.
I'm old enough to remember when there was a master plan that moved the parking up to where it is now. But part of the master plan was to have accessible transportation to the various parts on campus. And I don't see that that's happening. I saw last year there was a little bit of, you could call for help on a cart. But once you get up there, it's really, really hard to get to the chapel, to get to the gym, to get to anywhere. I was wondering if there was any plan to improve that.
So you're hitting something on the head that we're experiencing all over the property. Whether you are talking about the parking situation or the accessibility of our various areas, both are under review to find the right way that we can be accommodating it. Last year, we did increase golf cart coverage so that we had more people working and trying to get rides and, you know, giving them the chip experience, so to speak. But we're trying to find the right long-term fix because, as you said, if you're out there and maybe you don't have cell phone service or you're calling and you've got to find the right extension, it's not the right solution. We need to find a better way for us to be able to facilitate access to these various areas. Also, I think that plan is sitting on my desk.
Wonderful. I do have a couple comments online, and then we'll come back to our audience. One is just a comment, but I've seen that the Bayview rooms will have balconies. Can the underside of the balconies be designed in a way to minimize spiders, cobwebs, and other things that will deter individuals from using their balconies? So keep that in mind.
Noted.
Thank you. And then another individual on the Bayview piece, is there going to be a special event to launch the Bayview campaign, or is it considered fully launched?
Well, it is fully launched at this point. We will be having some receptions surrounding this throughout the summer, some of them at Bayview, some of them at various homes around the neighborhoods to talk to people about the campaign, but it is fully launched public campaign at this point.
On that note, if there are individuals that would like information related to these events, please reach out to myself or Walt Lender, and we'll be happy to provide it. We're going to be pushing it out everywhere, so we're going to try and get everybody that didn't even know there was a campaign going on. But that said, we're not only happy to provide you with the information, but have a conversation if you have some queries.
Next year is Silver Bay's 125th anniversary. Any special plans?
Yeah, we are really excited for 125. We have formed a task force with staff and community members, and we are looking to try and really shape the way that next summer is experienced by all, to reflect the historical pieces, but also bring some fresh fun. Lindsay's overseeing the task force. Lindsay, did I do a good job representing it?
You did fine. No, there's actually a lot of individuals in this room from a staff perspective, and as was stated, we did bring in some community members, some former employees, and we really are looking to do different things each month, whether it's through email blasts for people who can't make it here, or on-site experiences, maybe trying to bring back some old traditions, and there will be a gala next year. The Silver Bay will host a tentative reception, and more information on that to follow. We actually have a meeting tomorrow with the committee, or the task force. Everyone has split up into various pieces to talk about employee engagement, bringing alumni in, how we can involve the community, the gala, the marketing. So we'll be meeting tomorrow to bring all those ideas together and officially put together the launch date, letting people know. So buckle up, because this summer we may ask you for interviews, for videos, or for testimonials for some pieces that we're doing next year. Any questions in the room? We do have some online. I'm gonna let you take a minute in the room. All right, we also have, is the matching contribution still being done this summer, and will it cover Bayview contributions?
Yes, we are continuing the Double Your Donation matching program. That is a 3-year-long program, so this is year 2 of that. It is not connected to Bayview at all. It is purely for annual fund unrestricted giving to support Silver Bay's operations.
One more question online so far is, how is the Collins Equipment Center going to be put to use this summer? And will the shuffleboard courts and pushers be improved? Fair.
So I had a volunteer approach me the other day asking a very similar question. To the extent where, after I was about halfway through my answer, they said, never mind, I'm just going to redo the shuffleboard courts, make sure they're properly waxed. So we have somebody already on that, making sure that those courts will be in tip-top shape. Collins, we've been looking at from a use standpoint. I know that the shift in use happened around the time that we put the shack down by the tennis shed, or I guess the tennis shed. And it changed the dynamics a little bit. We are planning on trying to utilize it in a productive way that will help support people as they're trying to experience Silver Bay.
Okay, I'll keep going online. Raise your hand if you have a question. With the renovations at Bayview, do you anticipate it still being in the same price range as a less expensive alternative to the inn, or will it be more expensive?
So the price point for Bayview will continue to be approachable. You know, we are talking a couple of years down the road at this point, so prices won't be the same as they are today. But the goal for that building is to continue to be a place that people can go and stay. With this renovation, it's not going to bring it up to the William Boyd price point or even what the inn price point should be. So it will continue to benefit us. It's one of the reasons it was identified as the opportunity for us, because the way we're going to make money off of it is by actually filling the rooms instead of raising the prices, which is pretty significant.
Amen. Amen.
I feel like everyone really wants to applaud that. Any questions in the room? Yes, I will bring this back.
Hi, Jeannie Brown-Leonard. Congratulations. We're excited that you're stepping into the CEO role permanently. I've got a 2-part question. One is, what can we do to support you? We're invested in your success. You're doing well, means this place does well, so how do we support you? And then number 2, how are we going to get to know this community? I know the work that you've done up till now has been kind of behind the scenes. What are the strategies you might use to come out in front and get to know us?
So part of my answer to number 1 is going to be with number 2. It's my goal to get to know the community by both participating in some of the various programming. Myself and my family will be moving into Maple in another couple weeks, which will make it a lot easier for me to attend evening programming and gatherings, getting to know people in general. I am open to also just chatting with people, talking. I will frequently be getting coffee at the store or just wandering around property to try and connect with various constituents and stakeholders that are involved with Silver Bay. You know, whether they are a community member, a staff member, a longtime Silver Bay family, or a number of various pieces of this. I think it's really important that I do my best to continue listening and understanding what makes Silver Bay special to all of you. You know, this is a really big property. There's so many things we're doing. As Paul mentioned, I didn't even cover our youth development, which is frankly something that we're spending a lot of time making sure it's happening because it's so important to our trajectory. I need to continue to listen and learn and talk with people. I also am planning on attending a lot of the tennis exhibitions on Thursday nights at 4:30. I'm 90% on. And just trying to be accessible. Things that you can do include volunteering. Volunteering is so core to what we do, how we do it. It's huge. I got to participate with Council Weekend a couple weeks ago, and I had a blast working with them. We were transplanting an old shed that had been left in disuse because the base had rotted out on it, but the rest of the building was fine. So we built a new base and were able to transplant it over, and now we have a new proper storage for the events chairs for all of these awesome events we have going on. But much more important than even what we accomplished, I got to know some of the community. These were people that I said hello to in passing or, you know, been introduced to off the cuff, but I got to actually know who they were, what they do, and what makes Silver Bay important to them. So I'm going to continue trying to position myself in a similar manner. And if I just haven't bumped into you yet, don't be afraid to come find me. I'm an admin. Carrie is at the door, and she will tell you where I am, how to tackle me, and hold me down.
And if you haven't volunteered yet and are interested, you can reach out to Carrie Cross on our team or Carolyn Close and get signed up so that you can be logged in our system. We do track our volunteer hours for YMCA, so if you think you don't need to register, we would really appreciate that you do register. We do send that in each year. And I'm sure there's still some more questions, that there are a couple online. Can you tell us a little bit about your family?
Sure. I am married to an amazing woman named Lauren. We've been married for, it's going to be 12 years.
She's not.
That's it. Can we cut the recording? I have two little boys, Wyatt and Henry, 7 and 4 years old. Wyatt has done Silver Camp the last 2 summers and is a huge part of how I got to start understanding Silver Bay. Because we would be on our ride home. I lived down in Lake George, and he would be just chattering about all the fun he had. And he would get buckled in and then hung out. And then somewhere around Northwest Bay or Bolton, he would pick right back up and keep telling me about Silver Bay. It really helped me realize some of the impact that we can have and how important it is. I'm pretty excited for them to be up here and for them to get to know the Silver Bay community as I have.
Don't forget Quinn.
Oh, yes, and my furry canine companion, Quinn. I have a less than 2-year-old Australian cattle dog. To anyone that is unfamiliar, high energy, fiercely loyal, very playful. So if you pop into admin and she drops a ball at your feet, understand that all you have to do is throw that ball to make a lifetime friend.
You can sell this as a program. Practice your tennis swing, she'll get the ball and bring it back.
Yeah. And to be honest, I appreciate it because now she's sleeping on the car right now.
I do have another question. Would Luke consider holding a weekly morning coffee clash at the store or other locations to allow the members and guests to meet him?
Absolutely. I still have to hammer out my summer schedule exactly, trying to line up some of the various gatherings and to make sure that I don't miss important program pieces. But yeah, I love coffee. You can ask anyone. I think it's mostly what's in my blood at this point.
We have another question online, but then I can certainly bring back to the audience. Is the goose population being managed?
Without going into further details, the answer is yes.
We'll keep it at that. Any questions in the audience? Okay. We're winding down here. Anyone else online? We'll give you a second to type up your questions. We're giving people a second.
It's fine.
Oh, I do want to say, actually, somebody commented about how they are very happy for you, but they would also like to just give shout out to the wonderful camera people, because they have worked it. You're not online, but when the camera switches, there's cameras pointing at everybody here, and there's transitions, and it's become a whole situation online. We're having fun over here.
So that actually allows me to expand a little bit. So I've been doing the interim role since mid-October. What a wild ride. It has been so much fun, not only getting to know the staff in different capacities, but seeing what they can do. You know, we have a really impressive team here, and we are building a really good momentum for Silver Bay. The other side of that was I got to meet some really amazing community members, people that I had shook their hand but not had too many conversations with. And I am still, I mean, I said it earlier, I'm jazzed. I'm excited because this is such a cool opportunity to continue building on those relationships, from the staff to the community to working with the board. I mean, we have some cool stuff ahead of us.
Steve specifically would like to know if he can have your old office. Something to keep in mind. Looking through the chat.
Thanks, Steve.
Any questions internally?
I just have one comment. You said one thing that really hit me, and this is, if you go to an MBA program, it's not emphasized now. You said one thing that really struck me, and that's management by walking around.
Yeah, honestly, it's been critical, you know, just trying to get around. Anyone that's been here for a little while knows that sometimes parts of the property can get away from us, especially in the spring when we don't have the staff to be able to tackle everything. So I've been trying to be walking the grounds previously before everyone showed up, just so I can get my head around the areas that we need to get squared away. Now, I want to be clear, if I covered the whole property, that'd probably be about 30,000 steps a day. But I am excited to see the various pieces of it because we're trying to hold ourselves to a higher standard. You know, we're not meant to be fancy here. We're meant to be properly done. And I will continue making rounds, only now the focus will be a little bit less on whether we got to trim that particular bush, and hopefully more on seeing who's on the courts, who's on the beach, who's at the store, who's just rocking on the front porch of the inn. And again, to make myself available for a conversation or feedback if there's anything that you have experienced.
I do want to give Elise a chance, which I know, I think she wants to say a few things, but also our meteorologist in the building did let me know it does look like some storms are coming our way, so I also want to be cognizant of people's time. So Elise said he'd like to say some things, and we'll see if there's any last minute questions. And then I'll just hand out Luke's email address to everybody.
Yeah, I just wanted to say a quick thank you again to the board, and specifically to Melissa Adams and Matt Cruzzi, who led the transition committee. I also want to thank Fred Becker, who was on the transition committee, Tony Reese in the room, and Noah McPherson, who's also on the board. I think those are the people in attendance. But please talk to them. They have great insights and knowledge, and we're working hard to support Silver Bay and to support the management team and the community. And last of all, I would like to thank Lucas for accepting the offer and stepping up to the job. I think we're all excited about the future. With the hard work ahead and a lot of fun and some time to celebrate.
Feels awkward asking a question now. That was like a really nice way to end. But there was one more question. So Is there a speaker program established for this summer?
There will be lectures for this summer, and that schedule will be available on our website.
Perfect. I will put Luke's email in the chat just in case anyone would like to meet him or set up a time to chat. And thank you guys all for being, oh, yes, we have another question.
Will there be any celebratory event this year to welcome him?
The whole summer.
Starting now.
They'll actually be hosted in Maple by Luke every Friday.
And I guess the staff's been notified, the staff will be notified, and there'll be a press release going out tomorrow to tell your friends and family.
Sorry.
Well,
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Yes, we sent a staff email, we sent a community email, press release to go to the media tomorrow as well. So it is out there for everyone now. So tell your friends. So let everyone know. We are. Okay.
Thank you all for joining us for the June Town Hall.
Yeah.